Does that seem better? How about now? You got anything now? I've been having trouble with this mic all day. I literally filmed like 30 minutes of me going through all this new stuff, and none of the sound worked. So is that still the case? I'm seeing sound now come in from my microphone. Apparently it deleted the input when I unplugged it last time. So we working? We working for sound? Good, bad? Maybe? A little warbly. Okay, so alright. How about now? Is that better? Is that better for sound? Let me try. The sound's working. We got some sound. You can hear the things and the people and the words and the musics. There's no music, but it's wordplay. Okay. Okay, a little better. Okay. Alright, must just be grabbing. Let's try that. Is that better? Sound is not a thing I know very well. I think that's probably going to be better. Because I had to recreate the audio source, and then I have new ACs, which I think is grabbing a little bit. Because usually I run fans in this room, and I just turn them all off for this. But I have an AC now, and I think it's grabbing some of that. So let me know if that's a little bit better. I think it should be. And I guess I'll just start over like 10 minutes in, because still has noise. Okay. How about that? Did that fix it? I think that should have fixed it. I think it was grabbing the noise. Now I can't hear it all. Okay. Shit. Alright. Well, we're gonna chalk this up to testing to make sure this shit works. Okay, so that's turning off paint cam. So input cam. Let's see if input cam. Is that butter? Better butter? Boo-ba-doo-boo-doo, shoo-ba-doo-boo, shoo-ba-doo-doo, shoo-ba-doo-boo-boo. Shoo-ba-dow, yeah. Jazz hands. I think that should be better. When I unplugged my microphone, it deleted the input from the microphone, and I was running it off the webcam. Jazz hands better? A star. Alright, I'm gonna assume that's better. Because from my end, you're still getting noise. Okay. Let's try that. And I think that should be good. So tell me if that's not good. I'm gonna start from the top for round 3. Okay, good. Okay. Yes, jazz hands better. Okay. Alright, starting from the top, round 3, Kings of War that I knew nothing about. Yeah, finger guns. Alright, starting over, round 3 for Kings of War. Oh, streaming. Alright. Kings of War. War in the Hold. Starter set. I've said this shit 3 times now. I'm getting the hang of streaming. What the hell? Okay. This is the new, just came out a couple days ago, Kings of War side is goblins. So you get 2 armies in this, and 2 books, one exclusive to this box, and one, like, just full rule book. And we're going to take a look at both of those. I'm going to show you what's in them, because I've never seen them before, because I've never played Kings of War. This is my start in it. I started checking it out. I got this box mainly to reinforce my Skaven army for AOS, and I'm going to play the game itself too, just to try it out, see how it is, see if it's cool. So what you get in here, you're going to get 2 blocks. Well, that's the rule book. You're going to get 2 blocks of infantry for each side, so a total of 40 guys. Then you're going to get some kind of big support unit for each side, and then an HQ for each side. And there's extra stuff on the runners in here that I can't find rules for, so I don't know what to do with it. But I'll show it to you when we get to it, because some of it's really cool. And some of it I have no idea, so we'll look at it together, and I can show you what we got. Alright, so let's take a look at the books, and we'll look at those suckers first. So this is the Gamer Edition. I think this is a full rule book, but it is wibbly wobbly softback. So we're going to look through it real quick. So, in here it's got info, what kind of units you can have, how they move, how they turn, stuff like that. I believe that the hourly units in this work like planes in Warhammer 40k, where they move, pivot, like that, as opposed to just doing whatever they want. And that's because this is a rank and flank style game that I believe is essentially third-party Warhammer Fantasy. So when Warhammer Fantasy went under, I believe this game came out sort of to fill that niche of fantasy, all your troops march in a line in their position, and they hold position kind of thing. Like Napoleonic troops, forming gun lines and stuff like that. So that's how this plays, as opposed to AOS, where you sort of have like a horde more kind of setup. So your guys are going to go in big blocks versus a mob. And it changes how they move and stuff like that. That also means they can be like outflanked and stuff like that. So I think there's more kind of like positioning sort of rules regarding this than you have in AOS. So you got some cool pictures. There's some cool models in here. And yeah, it goes over the turns, the different things. There's a big octopus guy. When your guys run away, what guys are HQs, how your army is built. It goes over special items. It goes over spells. There's some scenarios in here. And then you start getting into the individual army rules. Now this is super cool because I've actually never seen this in a rulebook before. So there are rules in here for all of the armies that you could play. So for example, like if you wanted to play the Forces of Nature and you didn't have any of these Kings of War models, but you had a bunch of Sylvaneth, well, you have rules here and you can sub them in. That's super cool, especially for something that you don't, if you wanted to like try it out, if you already have the Warhammer equivalent of it, or you wanted to make your own custom models for this. That's super, super cool. So like if you already had a bunch of clan rats, and you wanted to basically like put this box together, or one of the sides on this box together, basically you would just need 2 units of 20 clan rats, an HQ, like a Grey Seer or something, and then maybe like a Storm Vermin, and you have everything that's in this box. And that's super rad, because the rules are in the rule book, and there's pretty much a 1-to-1 for every faction that I can figure out. Most stuff from AOS, and I think pretty much everything from Fantasy. So I mean, Empire of Dust. I mean, if you look at the picture, I mean, it's basically Gash. So, as far as I know, this carries over 1-to-1. So there's some cool new stuff in here. The Night Stalkers are neat, kind of like a nightmare faction. So all their stuff is like weird nightmare creatures, like scarecrows and shit. They're pretty cool. So there's some fun stuff in here. You have some nice big sort of army pictures like you would in a Warhammer book. So pretty cool. Standard rulebook. The rulebook that I believe is unique to actually is sort of like your start to pretty much everything in the box. So how to clip the miniatures out, how to assemble them, what materials to use, how to rebend PVC if you've never had to do that before. You're very lucky. And then it sort of shows you the kind of units, you know, like these guys are spitters, and these guys are sharp sticks, and these guys are rabble, and you know, it shows you what sort of the options are. And then it goes through some painting. You've got some lore for the units. You've got lore for like the specific like war bands. And then just super basic guide on how to play. That's pretty cool. This is a nice little starter book. It's really nice, and it has sort of where to go next, and some pictures of books, and some more units here. There's a bunch of Ratmen here I haven't seen. Maybe these are available in metal models, but I mean, like, there's what are equivalent to like storm vermin in there, and some rat ogres, and there's some cool stuff. You'll see these models are pretty rad. So, yeah, there's like a big dragon goblin thing for the goblins. That's really neat. So some cool shit in there. Nice little sturdy book. Now, let's split these up by type, because you sort of get an equivalent for each side. So I'm going to go through them by type. So for HQ, for our Mr. Ratty McRaddington here, I built the HQ. You can see there's a pretty big gap in the neck, but I wanted the tassels going up. I built the HQ for the rat, and I have the other one unbuilt, so you can see what it looks like. So he's pretty great. He has a little bit of flash cleanup and a little bit of that kind of cleanup still to do. I still need to give him another wash before I paint him. But the detail on him is super good. He's got a sort of fun, kind of crazy pose. He's got a little rat buddy riding on his back. Super cool stuff for this mini. This guy's going to be the base for my custom Warlord in AOS. That's what I'm planning on using him for. Because he's really cool, unique sculpt, and he'll stand out against all the other Skaven sculpts I have. So, when you get these guys, they come in little baggies, and they come sort of on the sprue. One of the pieces broke off in transit, but it looks like it's fine. And they'll come like this, still on the runner. So you just gotta clip them off. They're really easy to see. You can see there's a little bit of flash. Really easy to see where you clip and where you leave it. There are no instructions in this box, but everything makes sense. Like, there's nothing in here that I'm like, where does this part go? Except for the things that don't have rules, as far as I can tell. But we'll get to those when we get to them. So, that's the HQs. This guy is doing like a Hadouken kind of thing. He's a goblin with a big hat, and the other one's an angry rat man with a stick. So, pretty cool. So, for the heavy supports, for the goblins, and now they're deciding to cut the grass today, although that's not the day. Today's not the day they're supposed to do that. So cool, good job. Thanks, stream. So for the goblins, you get 3 of these big, like, super mutant ogre guys, and they come with some weapon bits. You know, I don't zoom in. They come with some weapon bits, and you can see there's a little bit of warping on there. So these will need to be reshaped a little bit. And they come with some warping, or they come with some weapon options. So, sorry, as I was saying, they come with some weapons. They don't come with weapon options. So, what you see on the back of the box is what you get for these guys. You're not going to be able to, like, say, oh, they all have swords, or one has a hammer, and 2 have swords, or whatever. They come with what they have. The options they have are the heads. There are a couple of head options in here, in case you don't like one of the heads. So, the heads are kind of cool. And they essentially will just plug right into the bodies, like, thunk, like that. And they'll have these little pinhead, super mutant kind of things. They're pretty cool. They're neat models. They are pseudo PVC. So not PVC like Gundam Polycap, but like PVC like Reaper Black Mini. And they have little thongs. You can see their little butts. So they're keep that in mind. You're probably going to have to stretch them out a little bit from the baggie. Yeah, they're pretty cool. There we go. And the Rat Men, they get this thing. Now this thing I specifically didn't build because it actually comes with a couple of options. I wanted to show them off. So it's going to come with 2 options for each of the front legs to change the pose up. So, for example, if you wanted to have one arm down or both arms reaching out like rawr, you can do that. And then it's going to come with options for the backpack. So it can either have this sort of like bladed wing thing or this big cannon thing. And you'll see that that plugs in like that, just right into the back. And once I wash this, I'll be able to just glue that in with super glue, and he'll be off and running. One of the other nice options that this comes with is it actually comes with different heads for the rat guy. So he doesn't have a particularly big neck, which is a little weird, but it's pretty cool still. He's got different head options there. I think it's interesting that he comes with so many options when there's only one of him. Kind of feel like there probably was supposed to be like another body. Originally when the set came out, it was supposed to be like 2 of these. Because you get 3 big ogre guys, but you only get 1 of these guys. Kind of weird, IMO. But you do get some nice options for him, and these are his back legs. And everything sort of fits together really nice. There's a little bit of flash to clean up. There might be a little bit of seam line between the pieces, but a little bit of glue should fix it, and there's nothing egregious here from what I've seen so far. So he's pretty great. I will say I was a little disappointed in his size. Looking at him on the back of the box, he looked like he was going to be a lot bigger. I kind of thought he would be like Pit Fiend kind of size, and like that sort of would have gone along with matching the 3 ogres on the other side, on the goblin side. But he's not. He's about the size of like a large rat ogre, maybe like a Skaven Storm Fiend. Maybe he's a little small for a Storm Fiend, but it's about this size. So moving on to the main attraction are the actual troops in these boxes. So you get 40 troops on each side. We're going to look at the goblins first. So for each set of 10, you get 2 runners. So you're going to get 4 sets of these 2 runners, so 8 total runners. Now each one of these sets of 2 is going to build 10 guys. Now these are split into 5 unique sculpts and 5 unique mirrors with some variation. So for example, you might have, instead of having like 10 different heads per 2 runners, you might have like 12. So there's going to be a little bit of variation there. Same thing with weapons. You know, instead of having like 5 arms, you might have 6. Something like that. It's a nice little bit of variation. And the nice thing is that since these are actual like real plastic, they're going to mix with GW stuff super well. And I'll talk about that a little bit more when I get to the rats. So for the goblins, you're going to get shield arms, which are these up here. You're going to get some spears, you're going to get some swords, and you're going to get some bows. The bows come with hands that have like arrows in one hand, and arrows in one hand, and one hand and quivers for them as well, which is really nice. And then there's a lot of variation in what kind of like stabby weapons your guys can have, and then for the weapons there. Now the heads, there are a lot of cool personality heads in here. There's one of like a guy with a big stupid helmet right here, and some of them have like little bondage masks on, some have like little ranger hoods and stuff. They're pretty cool. They have a lot of nice character to them. We'll talk about these in a second, and they're really neat. So who's bugging me now? So for the bodies, you're going to get 5 sculpts that are unique, and that's going to be duplicated twice. Same thing with the weapons. So these 5 bows are the same as the 5 bows on the other side, vice versa. Yeah. Some of these are really cool though. There's a but it's still not as nice as a bull and uncop would be, you know, because all the arms are going to go like this instead of like up or down or out or something like that. You can simulate that super easy with a little blob of green stuff and trimming the arm around it a little bit. You can get some more variation out of it. So super easy to do. If you've ever built GW plastic toys for the orcs, these work very, very similar to that, except the bodies are one piece. So. Alright, so let me show you something I built, and then I'll talk about the weird thing that's on the runners for these. I didn't use any of the bases because I don't like square bases, and I do want these to work with my AOS stuff. So these guys will go on round bases, and then when I play Kings of War, I'll just put them in movement tray. So yeah, so you got a guy here holding a little bow. He's got a cutie patootie little mask on. On his back, he's got a little quiver. I've got another bow guy. You can see you get some pretty cool poses out of him. This one's like holding the arrow up. He's going to shoot it. It's pretty rad. I made a spear guy just to play around with the different options. He's got a weird little bondage mask on. Super cool, but he's got this really nice plank shield. Lots of nice personality with these guys. You know, they definitely look like little shitheads, and I like that. Like I could easily see one of these like stabbing you in an alley and like taking your money kind of thing. I think it's pretty great. You know, they have a very sort of like cartoony goblin kind of sculpt to them. A lot of personality, a lot of fun. You can do a little bit of different stuff on them. You know, like this guy's like sticking his tongue out like some kind of weird goblin hunter gonna rape you kind of thing. And that's pretty cool. There's a lot of nice personality to these. So yeah, they're pretty great. I like them a lot. You get swords, you get spears, and you get bows. So as far as grots, I believe those are stickas, stabbas, and flingas? Spikers? Maybe spikers? I don't know. They're grot options that you get, so you can sell these guys in for grots really well. So on the runner, on each runner, you're going to get one of these. I have no idea what to do with these. They're super cool little things. I'll show you what they are in a sec. They are these. They're like warthog pit bulls, and they're super dumb and super cute, kind of cartoony, like pit bull creatures, and like they are just like super adorbs. And you get two different poses and two different heads, so you can mix and match them. And you're going to get two of these per two runners. So it means you're going to get 8 of these in total out of your 8 runners. And they're adorable. I have no idea what to do with them in the army. I can't find rules for them. I mean, maybe I missed them, but they're not in the Getting Started book. They come in the runner, and they're super cool. They got these big, stupid, happy, fat faces. I think they're rad, but I don't know what to do with them. But they're happy to have some cool warthog pit bulls. They're neat. So yeah. So let's move those guys up. Oh, let's do a size comparison. So this is one of the goblins against Poxwalker. So you can see, you know, they're like chest height, just wonderful little shitheads. That will like happily mob you down. They're pretty good. They got a little bit of thickness to them, nothing crazy. And if we compare them against, let's use this like marine, like a marine, you can see they have a nice sense of size there too. You know, because the marines are a little bit taller than regular humans, so they're pretty great. Now, moving on to the main dish for me, the rat men. They work very similar to the goblins, in that you're going to have 10 to 12 or 11 to 12 head options, which have a lot of cool personality. There's one with like a big mask. There's a bunch with like their mouths like strapped shut. There's one with like mad goblin like goggles and a hood. And then you're going to get 2 sets of duplicate weapons and 2 sets of duplicate bodies. and then a couple of variations thrown in. Enough to make a pack with one of the goblins as a, like the leader wrangler. Yeah, there's definitely options that you could use in here to be like a leader option. Like for example, there are some that have like these really big helmets and stuff, and if you put them on and then set them in the center, it'd be very clear that they would be the leader. And you also get a couple unique weapon options here, like this sword. That's totally unique, not duplicated. So if you gave them this, they would sort of stand out from all the other ones really well. So there's definitely options in there to be like a boss guy, and have all the other guys be like their posse kind of thing. And that goes for the rats too. But if you wanted to use these for clan rats, they're missing the bell and they're missing the banner. But if you wanted to buy a box of clan rats and some of these, and put them together, you'd have a horde of 40 that would look super cool. And I've got some clan rats to show you the difference in a second. So you get some cool head options, you get some cool shield options. Some of them are like weird sculpted shells, some of them are like banged together metal. These are the legs for the body. There's no real variation here. And then you get a bunch of different variation for stabby sticks as well. So spears and swords. So these are the options you would have for clan rats. And everything in this box is pretty much clan rat options except for the bell and the banner. You don't get those. So these have a bunch of nice, like, kind of cobbled together personality to them. I like them a lot. The bodies are super good. They're a little beefier than clan rats, which is nice. It adds a nice bit of variation when you put them together as far as heights go, which is super cool. And one of the weird things they get a whip. Not sure what it's supposed to do with that, but it's cool. And you could easily give it to like the leader and have your leader have the whip. It's pretty cool. And the really weird thing on this runner that I have no idea what it is and no idea for the rules is this like evil kettle. Like some kind of like weird soul container thing, like big piece of pottery. I can't find rules for this anywhere. I have no idea what it is. Definitely a neat thing, but what you're supposed to do with it, I don't know. But yeah, they got some cool personality for some of the bodies. Some of them have like little potions and stuff. My one complaint about the bodies for these is how diminutive the tails are. Most of their tails just sort of come down and wrap around their foot, and none of them like stick out or anything like that. And I understand that's probably for ease of production, ease for when you put them in the line. But it would have been nice if they had a little bit more personality with the tails. So let me show you some of these guys that I built. So I got this guy. He's like the mad scientist head. He's got a sword going out. You can see they're nice and chunky. They got a nice like hunchback to them, so they match the GW styling really well. They're just like GW's thicker cousin, and it's pretty good. They're like what clan rats would be if they actually got to eat all the time. But they have a bunch of nice personality. I just gave these guys swords because what I'm planning on doing is doing one box or one group of 20 with swords and one group of 20 with spears, and then I'm going to sub them into my clan rats. So you can see some of them have cool little faces. This guy's got a little hood. He'll fit in super well. And I should say, you know, the plastic here isn't super brittle. It's nice. It feels good. It's a tiny bit rubbery, but nothing terrible. But it's got a lot of nice sort of detail in there and stuff to paint and to pull out. These aren't as detailed as GW would be, but if you put them in a horde, they look awesome, or will look awesome. For the main guy, I did the cool big like evil helmet, which I thought was super cool, and he's got a shield with a rat face on it. Just super rad. You can see I've got paint all over my hands and nails because that's the kind of person I am these days. So to do a size comparison for these guys, Scrub one's not the boss. You can see they're a little bit taller than the goblins, also thicker than the goblins are, which is cool. They've just got a little bit more heft to them, and you know they're probably a head taller. So if we compare them against, let's grab that same Plague Marine. We compare against this Plague Marine here. I'm just grabbing models that are like off camera that I'm currently painting. We can see his base isn't finished. But comparing them against the Plague Marine, they've got a nice size. They've got a nice good bit of bulk. If you put them on a 25mm, they'll fill it out really nice. So, alright. And now this is a GW clan rat that I have. This is part of my Skaven horde. And when you put these guys with them, you can see they're bigger, and they're bulkier, and they're thicker and heavier. You could easily use these for storm vermin for the GW ones, but I'm going to use them as clan rats because I like the size variation a lot. When you put them together, I think it's going to make this really nice look, where when you have a horde of 40 of these dudes, there's like some of them are going to be tall, some of them are going to be little, and it's going to go like this, and this, and this, and this, and this. It's going to be super, super cool. At least I think so. Especially when all the clan rats are kind of in the same sort of pose from GW. The variation in the posing for these guys, I think, is going to help a lot. And it's going to make them look super, super